It's the night of the performance of the famous J-pop group Bikomachi. A grown doctor named Amamiya gets close to the TV like a kid with glow stick in hand, excited to watch the performance of the ace of the group, Hoshino. Saying he is an ultra fan is an understatement. His safe space is interrupted when the nurse comes in and turns the light on to reveal that he's fanboying in a patient's room. He turns to professional mode as he tries to justify his actions. The guy is a little salty that he has been stationed so far out in the countryside. She later informs him of the tending news that Hoshino has gone on hiatus due to poor health. He quickly checks his phone and screams in disbelief as tears run down his fanboy face. Even the nurse is convinced that he's a superfan now. He points out that he has his reasons for why he's such a big fan. He recalls that while he did his internship at this hospital, there was a girl called Sarina who was a big fan of Bikomachi, but particularly Hoshino. Amamiya and Sarina grew to become friends during her stay, but sadly, she passed away, so he became a fan of Hoshino to keep her memory alive. Low-key, he turned into an actual fan in the process. After their lunch break, they get back to work and he worries about the star and wishes her a speedy recovery. He enters one of the examination rooms where his next patient is waiting for him by the name of Hoshino, and she's about 20 weeks pregnant. He examines her profile and asks Saito if he's her father, but he explains that she grew up in a children's home, but he's her guardian at the moment. Amamiya tries not to judge her situation, but he's heard too many such stories. Hoshino removes her cap covering her face, and the doctor immediately recognizes those star-shaped pupils, certain that she's the same Hoshino who is the star for the famous J-pop group. He excuses himself for a moment and fanboys before the shock that she's pregnant hits him. While the doctor is out, Saito wants to know how this situation happened. He's the president of her agency and feels like she should have consulted him earlier and wants to know who the baby daddy is, but she's flamboyantly tight-lipped. The doctor runs the test and confirms that she is going to be having twins. Saito worries that her career and his agency will be finished if word gets out. At this point, they know Amamiya is aware of her true identity. The two later meet up on the balcony where she decides that she's going to have the babies naturally despite the risks, and the doctor promises to ensure a safe delivery. They keep her at the hospital under a fake name where they observe her over the coming months. Her due date draws near and Amamiya signs out for the night, assuring her that he'd be there for the delivery. When he leaves, he's stopped by a strange man who is aware that Hoshino is in the hospital pregnant. The doctor speculates that he's a stalker, so chases after him to get more information. The suspect gives him the dip of the shoulder down a mountain trail and escapes from his line of sight, but after turning around, the shady guy pushes him down the cliff. He loses consciousness but is woken up by his phone ringing. The doctor suspects that she has gone into labor. As the life leaves his body, he wonders if he will be reborn as an idol's kid, just like Sarina once wished for. Simultaneously, Hoshino gives birth successfully. Amamiya's funeral gets held as he thought that he would be heading to hell after his death, but he's in heaven, born as one of Hoshino's twins called Aqua. He's confused by the whole situation, and it took him some time to accept the reality of the situation. He still has his memories from his previous life. As a doctor, he plans to figure out the mechanisms that cause this to happen, but for now, he's going to enjoy his new life to the fullest. His little sister Ruby begins to cry, catching the attention of their mother. Saito comes to her home to announce that as of that day, Hoshino will make her return to being an idol. He has already written out exactly what they need to tackle to make this comeback. Miyako, who is Seida's wife, also works for the agency. She is tasked with looking after the kids while Hoshino gets back up to speed, but she is not too keen on her new role. They must keep this baby situation a secret if they are to have a successful comeback. When they leave, Miyako begins to complain about not having any experience babysitting and falls asleep. Aqua picks up on this and heads to the TV and then turns it on to watch Hoshino's first appearance after her hiatus. The producers and staff are still skeptical till the music starts, and they are blown away by Hoshino's performance energy. Aqua watches with fondness in his eyes and is grateful to the guy who pushed him down to his death. Ruby wakes up hearing the music and is upset at her older brother for not telling her that the live performance started. He looks at her as she gets even more hyped. It is revealed that she too is a fan of Hoshino, who got reincarnated as the other twin. Aqua found out when he caught her one night defending Hoshino online. He feels bad for the star because he wanted to help the idol give birth to normal children, which is far from the case now. All the while, the stalker sits in his room annoyed that Hoshino is lying to all her fans by not revealing she has children, and it's driving him mad. After the performance, the idol gets back to her children, and it is disclosed that Aqua only likes feeding from bottles because he's still a middle-aged doctor in his mind, so he feels like being breastfed would be crossing the line. On the other hand, Ruby is not shy to go with the natural route. she takes a gulp and smugly glances at the brother, which leads to a tense stare-off that is interrupted by Hoshino's need to leave for work. She gives her kids a goodbye kiss and assures them that she will be back. Aqua confronts Ruby about her behavior when breastfeeding, but she tells him that it's her right as her daughter to suck for sustenance. Later on, Miyako changes the baby's diaper and begins to get angry that she has been reduced to a babysitter. When she married Saito, she expected that she would be working with handsome young men. The two watch on as she goes on a tirade, but Aqua kind of empathizes with her, till Miyako begins to get a sinister idea to expose the secret by selling the juicy story to the press. At this point, she doesn't care. The money she will make will be able to fund her dream lifestyle. As she takes pictures of the evidence, Aqua thinks fast and uses their ability to talk and pose as a divine messenger. They scare her by telling her that she will be punished if she carries on with her plan, but they promise her success if she ceases and instead guard Hoshino's secret and the babies. They add that she should listen to their requests. With the nature of this supernatural event, she has no other option than to believe. Later on, Aqua comments on Ruby's convincing performance, stating that she has a talent for acting. She falls asleep, and as her older brother, he covers her with a blanket. Her passion for Hoshino reminds him of Sarina. He calls her name and Ruby wakes up responding to his call, but he tells her she's mistaken. Ruby takes a closer look and is taken aback that Aqua reminds her of Amamiya. However, she dismisses the thought that he too would be reincarnated. We come to learn that Ruby is indeed Sarina when she mutters to herself that it was her name in her previous life. A few months have passed since Hoshino returned to being an idol. Now that the band is on a steady rise, she receives her first paycheck, and it is not what she was expecting. Since Miyako does the expenditure, she explains how little the idols get when all other payments are made, so most idols have to supplement with hostess and other odd jobs. Only those at the top get high pay. She was hoping that her pay would be enough to give her children a quality life. Over the coming days, everyone realizes that she seems down, but she assures them that she's fine. At a later date, the band has an intermit concert where the twins force Miyako to take them despite Seida's warning. They try to blend in, but when the music starts, they begin to dance in unison to everyone's shock. Hoshino gives a genuine smile. The video of the twins dancing goes viral, and someone comments that it's the first time they have seen real emotion from Hoshino. Meanwhile, Miyako gets reprimanded by her husband for her behavior. 1 year has passed since that incident, and the kids being able to talk in a basic manner wouldn't be seen as strange. Ruby's zealousness as a fan becomes more open to Aqua when she consistently asks to be petted. She makes a statement that is far beyond her years, which surprises her mother. The twins get a little frightened when they think that she has caught on. To their relief, she just assumes that they are geniuses, which must be genetic. Hoshino's opportunities have opened a little in that time, which presents her with the chance to model and perform on radio. All the hard work has culminated in her getting an acting gig that could propel her to stardom. Miyako drives the family of 3 to the shoot. When they get there, the president's wife introduces the kids as her own. Director Taisher sees bringing children to work as a change of the times and doesn't show concern. The cast take a liking to the twins. Aqua manages to escape and bumps into the director, who warns him not to cause trouble on set. In a very mature manner, he promises that they will be on their best behavior. Taisher is surprised by his eloquence. Aqua lies, stating that he learned his vocabulary from YouTube, which the director believes. I heard the kid is also subscribed to Nine Tails recaps. Taisher sees that he's bright and gives him his card, expressing his interest in having him act. Aqua is more interested in knowing if his mother has a good chance of making it. He explains the nature of the business, but comments that Hoshino has that star factor. The family later sit to watch the premiere of the show, and to their disappointment, Hoshino gets limited screen time. Aqua called the director, who explains that the higher-up felt like she outshone the lead, so they had to limit her appearance. As an apology, he offers to give Hoshino a role in a movie he's working on, but Aqua must also perform, to which he agrees. The day of the shoot arrives, and there is another child star named Kana that is arrogant, but she is humbled when they get to act the scene, and Aqua significantly outperforms her. It is so bad to the point that she begins to cry and asks for a reshoot of the scene. Later on, the director explains that it should be a good lesson for the girl. The movie later comes out to positive reviews, with Hoshino pointed out as the star performer. This springboards her as she lands more jobs. She is now a major up-and-coming idol/media personality. Aqua checks and is surprised that his old body still hasn't been found, but his current life is moving smoothly as the twins start preschool. While on the playground, Aqua wants to find out more about Ruby's past life, but she's tight-lipped. He understands her reluctance and feels depressed comparing his previous life to this perfect one. He carries on reading his book. Some of the adults are shocked to see a preschooler reading such a high-level book. The kids are later told that they are to perform a dance, which upsets Ruby because in her past life, she was sick and had a weak body that didn't enable her to dance. So she thought she was just a bad mover. She tries to practice, and her mother comes across her struggling and gives her some guidance that makes her able to dance very well. Aqua watches and notes that his sister can act and dance. If she can sing, then she will be a triple threat. Meanwhile, Hoshino calls the father of the twins and gives her new address to him, asking him to come see his kids. But he doesn't show. Later on, the family of 3 joins Saito and his wife to celebrate their newfound success. She later gets a flashback to when he first met Hoshino. She reveals her sad childhood, stating she's not fit to be a star, but he lets her know that it is okay to lie and create a persona which is completely normal in the industry. Her flashback is interrupted when she hears a knock on the door. It is just hours before she performs at a sold-out area. When she opens the door, her stalker stands there and pokes her with intent to harm. Aqua comes to meet his mother leaking. The zealous fan begins to call her a liar as he has a psychotic episode. Hoshino recognizes him as Ryusuke, who is one of her biggest fans. She offers her hand despite what he has done. The guy runs off screaming. Aqua quickly calls the president to tell him of what has happened, and Hoshino blocks the door so that Ruby does not see her in this state. She says her final goodbyes to her kids and says she loves them for the last time before passing on. News spreads of her death and the fans are heartbroken. Ruby gets angry at the haters. The investigation becomes public news as it is revealed that the Slayer ended himself, but the concern fades as things get back to normal for everyone else. Miyako grew to love Hoshino and the children, so she pleads to adopt them, which Ruby accepts. The funeral is held and Aqua begins to look at the evidence. Ryusuke was the same person that ended him, but he was just a normal student with no special skills. He couldn't have conducted such detective work to find his mother's location. He concludes that someone close to Hoshino was feeding him information. To his knowledge, only the president knew about her hospital during her pregnancy, but he has nothing to benefit from her death. She wasn't that free with her coworkers, so they wouldn't know such information. The only person left is their dad. He would have known about the hospital and her current location. Aqua also figures that he must be in the industry since his mother kept a close circle. He plans to find this man and take his life with his own hands. He makes his way to the director and pleads with him to look after him and raise him. Many years pass and Aqua and Rudy prepare for their first day of high school. They say goodbye to a picture of their mother before they leave. Now that he is of age, Aqua is ready to find the culprit as he begins his revenge play. That brings the episode to an end.